Welcome to another episode of Our Last Leg. You got me, Nicky G, and my favorite co-host,
Jonny G. Happy freaking Halloween, everybody! Oh man,
love it. It's spooky time,
man.
baby.
There's only 2 days left for Halloween, for October. So we're recording this on a Tuesday. Halloween is on a Thursday. I hope you guys are going out with your kiddos, and if not, go drink an Oktoberfest. You got 2 days till they go off the shelves.
I was supposed to buy Oktoberfest.
Yeah, now we're drinking Corona like it's fucking summer all over again. Damn, but I'll take it.
I was on the beach a week ago, so I'm still in beach mode. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Forgive me.
That's fair. All right. Well, before we dive in, please be sure to drop a like, hit subscribe, like our YouTube videos, hit the bell. Leave a comment. We love every interaction, you guys. For those, I know you guys tail our Thursday night Nicky G SGPs, Jonny G SGPs. Guys, we give you some great insight every single podcast episode. We stand by that. I think we do a fairly good job.
100%. You know, right now, like completely spaced making it, so I'm making it on the fly right now. You know, I'm just going off straight instinct. So if we lose, I do send my deepest apologies, but you got to listen to the rest of the podcast. You have to, because I'm telling you, from the info that he collects and that I collect, I basically rewatched this podcast before Sunday.
Same.
And I take all that info, and that's how I make my bets, and that's how I'm up 13 units right now. So there you go.
Fair. Well, guys, before we do dive into the new week of football, do you want to talk about any updates, any injury updates? Don't talk about, well, one I do want to talk about. We'll get there later. But
Yeah. Well, two of them are actual games that we're going to cover, so I'm not going to touch base on those.
Okay, good.
The one thing that I do have that it's a team that we're not going to cover is that the fucking Detroit Lions, you guys, this is a bad mamma jamma of a crew, okay? They are destined for greatness this year.
Man.
I am confident enough to call it right now. Lions are going to the NFC Championship.
Yes, bro. They destroyed the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
What was the final score? Like 14 to 52, 51, something?
And then what was it the week before that? They played the Cowboys.
Yeah, and they demolished
beat
them.
The shit out of them
in Dallas. Yeah. Crazy, bro. Yeah, no, they're definitely making a name for themselves. Not that they already didn't last year, but I think they were coming in all guns blazing.
100%.
And that's really all there is. I think this is really a team that everyone needs to fear. It wasn't just because the fact that they're undefeated like the Vikings were, and now they sit 5-2.
Oh, the Vikings were. They were picking. They're a fake. They were a fake undefeated team. Like, yes,
they got lucky with one of them. I'll say that.
Yes,
with one of them,
definitely.
But they were cracking out, man.
With them losing to the Rams last week, we're gonna touch on that here.
Yeah, we will. Yes, we will. And the only one I guess that can really just stand high over everyone in the pedestal is the Kansas City Chiefs. We won't talk about them this episode, but they hold their own. Patty Mahomes, Magic Mahomes, he can do it even without his star receiver, star running back.
This is coming from a guy that hates him.
And I fucking hate him. I hate him every week. Anyway, enough about the Chiefs.
Compliments to my baby, Ashton. She got us all these little decorations.
Yes, sir.
Look at this little bat flying around. To me, it's not a bat. It's a raven. Go, flock, go.
This guy. Speaking of go, flock, go, do you want to tell him about
No. I fucked up. I should have never brought that up.
Oh, you did.
Well, for one, Kyle Hamilton blew that game. He had an interception that he, hubba, and still fucking dropped it, dude. Still dropped it. That would have been the game ender right there. They ended up coming back. Browns beat the Ravens. That was
talk about game fucking enders.
Disgusting.
The Washington Commanders.
Yeah!
The Washington Commanders. Man, they came out to the last play of the game. And I think, I read an article. I didn't watch the game. I just saw it on Instagram. But I think someone was teed off because they let the Washington Commanders get all the way up to the 50-yard line to be able to make that Hail Mary play. Otherwise, if the play prior to that didn't happen, they wouldn't have been able to get in distance for the Hail Mary. But regardless of that aspect.
But the best thing that happened out of that entire play, I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah.
The Bears player in the end
Peterson,
zone,
I think was his last name or something.
Stevenson. He's in the end zone, like talking mad shit to the Commanders fans, and all you see is like 10 Bear fans pointing downfield. He's got his back turned away from the play. And
He starts darting over there.
he's the one that tips it up.
And he's the one who tips it into the receiver at the end. The next morning, he says on Twitter, "I'm
Yeah.
sorry." I'm like, "You motherfucker!"
Like, you a whole pussy,
Yeah, bro. I couldn't
That is
believe it.
Crazy.
I couldn't.
Fuck,
guys.
man. But super happy for the Commanders. I love them way more than I love the Jets. I said week 2 that Jaden Daniels is looking like a great quarterback. I said it again in week 5, and now everybody's gonna hop on that bandwagon.
Yeah, man, that was insane. That was literally insane for sure.
I fucking love it though.
Yeah, no, that was great football. Overall, it was absolutely great football. I didn't get to watch too much of it. I just watched a lot of highlights, though. But it was crazy, nonetheless.
Great ending. We love to see that. You would think that the Bears know to protect themselves from a Hail Mary after playing against Rodgers 2 times a fucking year.
And that was last week or 2 weeks ago?
It was 2 weeks ago, but I mean, when Rodgers played on the Packers, you know, I can't tell you how
halftime
many
Hail Mary?
times
Yeah.
Rodgers has beaten teams, including divisional
Doing
rivals
that.
like the Bears, in the last 2-3 minutes of a game. Let alone the last 60 fucking seconds. What was it? Like less than a minute?
There was, I think, a second left. There's like 3 seconds or some shit like that. Yeah, crazy.
Stupid, man.
Crazy. They actually almost got to him before he actually even got to throw the ball out. But anyways, it is what it is. Well-deserved dub, nonetheless.
Most definitely. Most definitely. You ready to dive into week 8, my friend?
I could care less about who we're about to talk about, so I'll let you bring him in, brother.
I love it because we got great talking points. Here we go. We have got Thursday Night Football. Texans going to New York to go face the Jets. Texans at the Jets. Jets are favored at -2. Over-under sits at 42.5. Texans coming off of a win against the Colts last week, 23-20, while losing Stephon Diggs in the process. Jets coming off possibly the most embarrassing loss of the entire NFL season so far. Jets lost to the Patriots 25-22. This Texans team at the beginning of the season, and even when Nico Collins came back and everybody's firing on all cylinders, they look like one of the greatest teams in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
All around.
Yes, sir.
So well-rounded. I'm going to kill this fucking mosquito, you guys. I swear to God.
Feel you.
But, you know, this Texans team, when they have a healthy Nico Collins, when they have a healthy Joe Mixon, when they have a healthy Stephon Diggs, I called it earlier with the Lions, this team would be in the AFC Championship, dude. I'm 100% confident in that.
I agree.
This team cannot be stopped when everybody is healthy. When Nico Collins is getting, 90 yards a game, Joe Mixon is getting 100 rushing yards a game.
And don't worry about them. They still got to back up who? Tank fucking Dell.
Tank fucking Dell.
Stepping up for every one of them.
And I brought this up already. This will be the 3rd time I brought this up this year, bro, that Tank Dell saved your ass last year,
Yes,
CJ
sir.
Stroud.
Yes, sir.
Saved your ass. And the fact that even when Nico Collins went out, yes, he had a good week last week, but he didn't get the love that he deserves. This man should be getting 9 targets a game, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
He's like a Josh Downs, but more well-rounded already. Without all of these guys, though, CJ Stroud shows that he is flawed. And I said it, I'm telling you guys, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Last year, I said CJ Stroud is due for a sophomore slump. And right now, he is in the middle of it, okay? What?
I mean,
What?
I mean,
They beat a fucking Colts team by 3 points against a quarterback that you were bashing. We're going to get on that later. But well-deserved bashing. Well-deserved bashing. But CJ Stroud is not a bad quarterback.
By all means.
He is nowhere close to meeting the hype that he brought upon himself last
year.
Yes.
That's what
I consider a sophomore
very
slump.
fair argument. With the Houston Texans sitting at 6-2, that in the first in the AFC South. Granted, like
not a lot of
say
competition.
He wasn't doing amazing, but sitting with almost 2,000 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, I still think that's pretty damn good, to be honest. Granted, under
11.
his and the people in his whatever, the people under his division, though. I mean, yeah, in comparison, it's not much to fucking blink at. But overall, as a team, That's the thing. That's the thing. He had already all of these people to use, players to use in his back pocket for the past 8 weeks. This week, it really is going to be up to CJ Stroud to show if he's got what he's actually truly made of, because he
100%.
doesn't have Nico Collins right now, from what we know, and 100%. Not a couple hours ago, Stephon Diggs was announced that he will not be returning for the rest of the season. So,
the season?
Yep.
Oh!
Whole season. So now, with that being said, who's gonna step up that you just said?
It's gonna be Tank Dell.
Tank fucking
Tank
Dell.
Dell.
And for a wide receiver perspective, that he has to. But he already knows, like, I'm good. It sucks that we lost one of the best players that they just drafted into the Houston Texans and has a name for himself, is out for the remainder of the season. He made it halfway through. If they make it to the playoffs, we still won't even see him, which absolutely sucks, because the dude left the Buffalo Bills for that exact reason, because he wanted to finally be a part of a team that could possibly get him there. Bills always get there. They just can't ever execute, which is unfortunate. But granted, Josh Allen only had him to throw it to. We'll get to them later. But again, going back to this, the wide receiver and the quarterback perspective is important, but we cannot brush aside the man of the hour who just absolutely walked the Indianapolis Colts. Was Joe fucking Mixon. This guy. The guy had 25 carries, 102 yards, 4 receptions with 32 receiving yards. That's a total of 134 yards total. 1 tutty. That touchdown, by the way, was amazing. He had to break 2 tackles just to get into the end zone, and he did it.
That was nasty.
But that guy was just nonstop getting first downs for this team, and that's just truly amazing. I think with that aspect, if we're talking about running backs for the Jets, it's Breece Hall. But recently, in my eyes, I don't think Breece Hall has been doing enough for me to be wary about him. I think Braylon Allen is the one who's kind of stepping up, a little comparison to how, like, Bucky Irving has been stepping up over Rashad White, excuse me. But that's just my take on it. The Jets have been nothing but disappointing for me, aside from their record. But it's just like pulling teeth every single time you bet on these players on the Jets. But now, even regardless if they have Devontae Adams, it's been 2 weeks, and still Aaron Rodgers, I feel like the guy is just trying to find blame. Like, he's throwing nothing but dimes to them, and that's not even the fucking thing. That's really not.
So many underlying issues.
It is, and it is. And I think Aaron Rodgers just tries to find blame in everyone else but himself. I'm not saying he probably does take some to himself, which he should as a leader.
That's what he is 100% defined himself as, is the leader of this Jets team.
Yeah, man. But
100%.
That's just the thing with me. It's interesting, too, that the New York Jets are also favored at -1.5. You think it's just because they're in New York? Like,
it dropped?
Last time I saw it 2 hours ago was -1.5.
I saw it -2. Yep, -1.5. I apologize, y'all. It's -1.5.
And
good.
With Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs both out of this game, how are the Houston Texans still only favored by -1? How are the Jets, favored by -1.5? Explain all that to me.
Well, the only thing that I can think of right now is going to be the fact that Tank Dell thrives when there is nobody else on the field to compete with him for targets. You know, you have got to get this man back to 2023 caliber. When this man, again, I know I'm beating a dead horse right now, but this man carried the fucking Houston Texans. Yeah. It wasn't just CJ Stroud. It was Tank Dell, okay? Last week, 4 catches, 35 yards, and a tutty against the Colts. Yes, that sounds good. That needs to be doubled. That 100% needs to be doubled.
It probably will be.
100. Yeah, and you're right.
With the secondary of the Jets, I really don't see that being an issue.
But the problem is that there's nobody else for Sauce Gardner to guard besides Tank Dell, who is arguably a top 5 cornerback in the NFL. Personally, I don't have him in top 5. But if you want to find keys to success in this game, it has to be Joe Mixon and Tank Dell.
And I think there's one more that we keep not mentioning, and I failed to mention, is it was tight end weekend, guys. a couple of days ago. And I think after that weekend, this is where we're going to see CJ Stroud utilizing his own. Dalton Schultz. That guy is someone who's just underlyingly under the radar.
Slept on,
And
bro.
he is.
You
And
beat me to it. You
Yeah,
beat
yeah.
me to
Because
it.
they touched on a lot of tight ends last week. Yeah, he didn't get a touchdown. But I think after what happened last weekend, he's absolutely going to utilize him more, especially now that he doesn't have his 2-star wide receivers, Stephon Diggs, nor Nico Collins. So why couldn't we say that take effect? Excuse me. Why cannot we see that be taking effect this week? I truly do. There's so many things to this
Hunter
game that I
Henry,
just
5 for 45 last week.
for the Patriots.
Yeah. And they played the Jets. So, I mean, to me, Dalton Schultz is a better tight end
And
than
I don't
Hunter
even know.
Henry.
I don't know about that one, fam. He's been a part of the Patriots for a while, but it's not about the Patriots. But overall, if you could look at the line for me, if you're on FanDuel, I want to know what Dalton Schultz is for 25 receiving yards, because if it's not already at a decent odd, I'll say minus
330.
180. 330? Oh, they beat me to it. Well, I still like it, though. I can honestly see him for 40. If you can get maybe 3 or 4 receptions, I like that just as much. Nonetheless, I don't want to take too much time on Thursday night because I'll just go right into my pick, brother. I don't really know how to go about it.
Well,
but
hold on. Save that pick for just a second, my guy, okay?
All right.
Because there's just a few things I want to touch on about the Jets real quick that might change your perspective. This team's a fucking train wreck, dude. I think everyone was convinced that they were just a quarterback and another coach away from this team being so elite. They looked like they had everything going for them last year. Without Aaron Rodgers, it's like, man, if Rodgers was in this offense right now, that's all they need.
But let's not stop there. Let's get another wide receiver that you trust so damn much. Devontae Adams.
We got Salah. Yeah, we're going to fucking fire him. They had an OC. Yeah, we're going to fucking fire him. Let's bring in Rodgers' favorite wide receiver of all time. That didn't fucking work. They brought in Lazard, too. And
I forgot about him, too.
Another Rodgers favorite, but that was after the Devontae Adams era. But at the end of the day, none of these guys are winning ball games.
Yeah, bro.
Now, let's look at their stat lines, because every single one of them sounds absolutely amazing, dude. Garrett Wilson, what did he have last week? Like 6 catches for over 100 yards. Adams getting plenty of fucking targets. It doesn't matter, though, how good the stats look when you're not getting the W. Because at the end of the day, that's all that fucking matters. I don't care how pretty you look on paper. All I'm looking at is your record at the end of the day. And right now, the Jets are fucking dog shit, dude. What are they, 2-6? Yeah, with a bunch of rock stars on their team. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers. And you're telling me this team has won 2 fucking games, bro. 2 games. Yeah. That is insane to me. Jets are on a 5-game losing streak. And the only reason they're favored is because of the injuries on the Texans. And, it's not even 2 anymore. It's a 1.5. They're at home.
That's what I'm saying.
And favored. It feels like a recipe for disaster, dude. So, I will let you go ahead and throw your pick out there and see what you got cooking up, my friend.
I don't have much, guys. But what I do like is... Well, first of all, tread lightly. It's Thursday night football, prime time Thursday night football. It is always weird. It is never consistent, no matter who is playing, no matter where it's at. That being said, I do like a winning margin on the Houston Texans between 1 and 13 points, because I'm giving a little bit of benefit of doubt to Aaron Rodgers to keep it semi-close. I don't expect the Jets to be able to compile themselves just because it's in New York and the line favors them at -1.5. It is not enough for me to take them on the ML either, because, again, like we said, this team is in shambles. There is not enough to convince me to make my way over to the Jets. I'm done betting on them for the rest of the fucking season. They have fucked me not once, not twice, but 3 times. I am done. I am done, and I stand by that. Give me the Houston Texans on a winning margin between 1 and 13 points, and you can get that on FanDuel.
Oh, I'll tell you right now that I'm not posting this. It's such a stretch.
Yep.
Like John said, I blacklisted the Jets 3 times already personally this year, and somehow I still end up finding myself.
I stand my ground on this one now. Yeah, I've learned my lesson. I have learned my lesson.
So if you're not tuning in right now, it's probably for the best. Thursday night football, SGP. I've got Garrett Wilson, 40 rushing yards. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and backtrack here. I am tailing John. Give me the Houston Texans.
I was like, wait, where's the pick?
113 points win margin.
I love that. Okay.
And I've also got under 45.5.
Yeah, man. It could go that way, to be honest.
That's an alternate over-under, but Nicky G, SGP, Thursday Night Football. Here we go. Garrett Wilson, 40 receiving yards. Dude got 100 and something last week. There's no reason to not take this line right now. Garrett Wilson, 40 receiving yards. Give me Tank Dell, 40 receiving yards. If the Texans have any hope at winning this game, he has to blow through this line. Like I just said, he got 37 last week.
Yep.
He has to double that. Give me Tank Dell for 40 receiving yards. Give me Dalton Schultz for 25 receiving yards as well.
Yes, sir.
Like John said, I like him for 40, but I always play the cushion. Give me Aaron Rodgers for 200 passing yards. I think that if the Jets do win this game, it has to be defining. I think Rodgers can throw close to 300 on this game. And then go and give me Joe Mixon for 70 rushing yards. If the Tank Dell aspect and the Dalton Schultz aspect isn't working, I like him in that area. That's plus 363 before they offer us a boost, ladies and gentlemen.
That's nice. That's nice.
Bro.
And if you honestly wanted to get it up to that plus 400, because usually on FanDuel, they do offer that no sweat bet on Thursdays. I wouldn't even mind you bumping Tank Dell up to 50 yards, and that probably should get you right there to the plus 400.
Yeah, and also tread lightly on the Mixon leg. I know that he's been tearing it up, but the Jets are going to know that these are one of their only options. You know, they've got about 3 places they can place that ball. Watch out for when these lines come out. Look for 3rd, 4th string wide receivers on low lines. Look for that as well, because those guys are going to be sitting around 20. There's going to be one guy that has to pop off as well. It won't just be Tank Dell. It won't just be Dalton Schultz. One more guy will be getting in that action, and he will get his yards.
I do like that. There, you guys heard it. That is your Thursday night football for this week. I think that takes care of things here.
Yep, and I want to go ahead and take a break for our sponsors real quick. And we're back. Our sponsors absolutely love us. Next game we have got is going to be divisional. We have got the Dolphins going to go see the Bills. Dolphins at Bills. Bills are favored at -6 over under. Sits at 49.5. I said it once, I'll say it again. This game is divisional, ladies and gentlemen. The 6-2 Bills, coming off of a win against Seattle, absolutely beat the shit out of them 31-10. While the 2-5 Dolphins lost last week at home against Arizona. They lost on a last-second field goal. Clock went 3, 2, 1. Dolphins lose the game 28-27 at home against the Cardinals. I know we were all saying that Tua, you got to hang it up, buddy. You're done. You're over.
You know,
he doesn't care about his own health, so I'm done caring too, bro. I'm done caring.
That's the thing. Like, here. Let me ask you something, man to man here, muchacho. If you loved something so much, which I imagine you love football so much,
for sure,
that's probably your favorite sport to watch on TV, right?
Yeah. Undoubtedly.
Okay. I don't even care what team it is that you're watching. Your dream matchup. Football in general. You are gonna probably die in a day. After you have your favorite meal, your favorite football team.
Am I on last row?
Yeah. Let's say you're on death row, whatever.
Okay. Death row.
Death row.
Okay.
And you're about to watch your last football game.
What crime did I commit?
Don't worry about it. Enough for you to be on death row. So he's ruining it, guys.
Okay.
So
death row, one last football game.
And this will be the last thing you see before you die. I don't even care what teams they are. Would you be happy with the last thing you do or see and drink a beer, whatever, watching your favorite 2 teams play football. Would you be cool with that? Yeah,
For sure.
For sure?
For sure.
So what is any different than seeing Tua doing and dying on the field, doing the thing he loves the absolute most? Can you take that away from a man?
Oh, my
Can you take
God.
that away from a man?
No, you cannot take that away from a man because at the end of the day, if he does fucking dead ass just drop on the football field, at the end of the day, he died doing what he loves. He'll just Steve Irwin himself out of the world.
Eddie Guerrero, WWE Russell
doing
he had
what
a
he
heart attack
loves.
on the ring.
Yeah.
Everything that he loves.
Doing exactly what he loves.
Can we
and
do that same thing?
You cannot fault the guy for wanting to come back.
You can't. It's crazy.
Fuck his 4 concussions. At the end of the day, he's like,
we did care about you. Those couple. I'm like, all right. I think you
You don't care?
Like, all right. I'm not saying like fuck you, Tua, but like balls to you. If this is where you drop, I'm gonna honor your last game. Hopefully, you don't just die and drop down on the field.
Don't want anything bad to happen.
Nothing,
to
absolutely.
you.
But I give you balls for coming back after concussion, after a seizure,
Including a
arguably,
concussion.
including with a concussion, and you still want to come back. Balls to you. But I am a little bit done caring. So if you don't want to hang it up, all right, I'll see you on the field on the next week, and I will probably take you on your next 200 passes.
That's right, because I mean, at the end of the day, he's making millions on millions of dollars. All he cares about is doing what he loves
the most. Yeah,
and he knows his family will be taken care of for generational wealth. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Enough about that. Sorry.
No. You're good. He doesn't care about his future. Most NFL players are worried about talking to their kids, their grandkids in 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
If the doctors are telling him that he's okay to come back and that, the brain scans and stuff like that are A-okay, then hey, kudos to you, big dog. You're doing more than I ever could in my entire lifetime. So I'm super happy for you. But for you to come back against the Cardinals after a severe concussion, a very, very hard seizure to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Just know that every other quarterback they brought in sucked, dude. Absolutely fucking sucked. He threw for more yards against the Cardinals coming back from a severe concussion than any of their backups did. Tua went 28 for 38, 234 yards in the tutty. Not one time while he was gone did any of the backups touch a stat line like this, okay? The Dolphins showed us how crucial he is to this offense, man. Like, he really does play such a huge factor that most people kind of just brush off. Go back and look at the stat lines yourself. I don't have everything written up right now, but not one player in the, 6 weeks? He got hurt week 2?
Yep.
No, I'm sorry, 5 weeks or something like that. Doesn't matter. Nobody threw for 234 yards. Isn't that crazy, dude?
It is.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and, the list goes on and on. Mostert, Achan, Akane. I don't even know how the fuck to say his name still. The Dolphins just showed us how important he is to this offense. He makes every other player look so good around him, man.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that. You wouldn't think that one guy plays such a huge factor on a team. You're like, dude, it's Tyreek Hill. All you got to do is throw him the ball. Yeah. That motherfucker's going to make it happen. No, it does not happen like that, man. Players that dedicate their lives to football, I'm not saying the backups didn't, but Tua is so much further invested than these guys are mentally.
For sure.
Coming out of Alabama, the guy was an absolute stud coming out of college, and he had like one maybe a bad season and a half, but he has bounced back. He's looking great. Tyreek, the game against the Cardinals was the best game he has had since Tua got hurt, bro. Every other week, dog shit. Absolute dog shit. And that goes as well for Akane, and Waddle. All three of those guys have not had a better game that entire span Tua was gone. Second Tua came back, boom. They beat their week 2 stats. It's fucking bonkers to me, man. But Tua is also facing the exact same team that put him in this situation. the funniest part of that entire situation is that it was DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah.
I know it's fucked up.
I'm about to
Dude,
see
but I
two people
can't help
drop
but
dead on
laugh.
the field in the same time.
The fact that a comedian has not made a bit about this yet, I feel like that's a slept on gem. But anyways, Tua being back is so big for the Dolphins, man. But they got to face the good old Bills, who lead their division. The Bills are about to face a team that is 1-6 against the spread. 1-6, bro. 1-6 against the spread, including them failing to cover as underdogs 7 games in a row. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. 7 straight games that they've been underdogs. No. Just in general.
Oh.
Anytime they've been in the underdog, in the last span of in 7 games where they've been the underdog, they have not won. They have not covered the spread whatsoever. This Bills defense, man. This Bills defense was able to shut down an electric Seattle Seahawks offense, who John likes, I like,
love 'em. Yeah.
love them.
Yeah,
absolutely. Geno Smith is perfect for that offense right now, and somehow they still could not get the job done. Seattle, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think they're starting to find their little knickknacks, but that team will make it far soon. Mark my words, they will. They will. Sorry, let them take a sip. That was the only piece I had there for the Seahawks.
I got you. But the Bills' defense being able to shut down such an amazing offense that by 3 scores, this Dolphins offense, electric. Are we going to see the same thing again? I don't know. We'll get to it here in just a minute. But personally, I thought Seattle would have been able to keep up. All they did was prove me wrong and show me that this Bills defense can and will stop your offense and leave you with no heartbeat. To only put up 10 points, bro, with DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
Bills defense did fucking great that game.
Yeah.
And the offense isn't anything to curl your nose at either. Allen, take a guess. Do you remember last season with Josh Allen? Do you remember him being an interception machine?
Oh yeah, man. I think I was 3 for 5.
Yeah. You popped off with the interceptions last year on Josh Allen. It was almost a given.
Yeah, he just wouldn't stop. He just wouldn't. For some odd fucking reason, he would throw one.
How many do you think he has this year?
This year? It's been 8 weeks. I'm going to say 4.
4.
I hope I'm right or lower.
Answer to that is 1, John.
One out of all 8
In
weeks?
Seattle.
Wow.
All year, dude. Very, very impressive by Josh Allen and this Bills offense, man. That is clearly one thing they worked on so heavily in the offseason.
I think he learned that himself, too.
Yeah, but like 1 interception, dude.
Oh, yeah. 14 tutties and 1 interception.
That's impressive as
Crazy.
fuck, man. One thing that surprised me about this Bills team is the way that they're able to find success without James Cook. They're winning ball games without using one of their top 5 players on offense, which is very, very impressive to me. Don't get me wrong. He's a fucking monster, and he will turn your whole defense upside down. If they want to feed him, he's getting his yards, okay? But they know that opposing defensive coordinators are coming into this game thinking, hey, we really got to watch out for him. And then, boom, next thing you know, Keon Coleman for 25 yards downfield in the tutty. Or, Shakir or anybody. Schultz, Knox. Not Schultz, I apologize. Kincaid.
Kincaid, yep.
But the Bills just don't have to do that every game. They're able to find ways to get downfield while using James Cook as a decoy. Yeah. Basically baiting defenses into, we're going to, instead of leaving, one extra guy in coverage, we're going to leave one linebacker watching Josh Allen and James Cook. Well, guess what? James Cook is going to sit there and just work you back and forth while Josh Allen is finding the one-on-one coverage, and he's going to beat you every time, dude. If you don't believe me, go back and watch the fucking tapes, man. I'm telling you right now. Last week against Seattle, the motherfucker, 17 carries, 111 yards, 2 tutties, 3 catches for 22 yards. James Cook can do this. There's games they've won where he's got 30 yards on 7 carries.
Exactly.
And they still win by 2 scores. You know, the Bills offensive coordinator, I don't know who it is, but they're doing a great job at utilizing everybody possible. The offensive schemes they're able to come up with are just so impressive to beat these defenses. That is one thing that I really like about this team. And I have my pick, unless you want to chime in and throw in a couple things.
I don't have much to say, bro, except one thing I'm just very astonished about. Granted, you really hyped the shit out of both sides, which was very, very smart of you, because a game like this, you need to acknowledge how talented both sides of these teams really are. And I think it might come down more than to which quarterback is better more than anything. Because, again, you give Tyreek the ball. The hardest part is getting the ball to Tyreek.
For sure.
All the coverage.
For sure.
The line is sitting at Buffalo, at -6.5.
What's our money line at?
The ML for the Buffalo Bills is -295, and the plus money for the ML on the Miami Dolphins is +240.
You think the Dolphins are looking for revenge right now?
Right, because they lose every time, right? They lose every damn time.
But do you think they're walking into this game thinking, hey, this is a revenge game, we got to beat these guys? Or do you think they're walking into this like, this is a regular football game, we're going to go out here and do what we do, and, you know, we're going to go out here and win this football game. We can put up 27 points on the board.
I'm looking at this more like a player prop game, bro. I think this game can go either way. What Vegas is doing right here is putting it at -6.5. To me, feels quite daunting. It truly is. If you're seeing something that I'm not seeing, if you're seeing that something Vegas is seeing that I'm not, please tell me. But I think you just put it all out there on the table. I don't know. I have faith that the Miami Dolphins can keep it tight with the Buffalo Bills, but the last time they played them, they got absolutely murked.
In Miami. And but Tua went down, late third quarter?
Yeah.
So it's not like he played that much of a factor.
Yeah, because they were already
in
down
the winning,
so
losing
much.
aspect.
And I think you and I touched on it. If it was in Buffalo in December or February, that's different because the weather plays a factor.
Most definitely.
It wasn't even a factor at that point, guys. So maybe I do have to back the -6.5, a whole touchdown. What's the issue here, guys? Because I don't see one. I guess I might just take a little bit of an alternate, but even then, I still think it might come down to a tighty. I'll take the Bills at -5.5. That's what I like. The over and under, it can go either way. I think I like that, though. I think the Buffaloes still take the dub. Again, notoriously, they've done it in Miami. Why can't they do it in Buffalo?
Yeah, sitting here looking back on the game, first quarter against, so this is week 2 when Tua got hurt, Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. Quarter 1, tied up 7-7. Quarter 2, Buffalo scores 17 points. They're up 24-10 instantly. Then Buffalo scores again in the third quarter. Miami gets nothing. That was also right when Tua got hurt. They did not find the end zone, so right there, nothing in the fourth quarter. 31-10 was your final score in that game. In that game alone, let's take a gander here. You won't believe it, but Devon Aiken was the number 1 wide receiver in that entire team. 7 catches for 69 yards. He had 22 rushes for 96 yards. Devon Aiken as well, which is crazy as fuck to me. But also James Cook, 11 rushes, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. James Cook, 1 catch, 17 yards, 1 touchdown. Like John said, man, it is very, very hard to back this Dolphins team whenever they couldn't get it done when they were healthy in the first place. Now you got Tua coming back all fucking, his brain scrambled, and boy's got scrambled eggs up in the brain. Yeah, I got to back John here. You know what? I'll take a small cushion. Give me the Bills at -5.5. And
yeah,
I will take the the over-under is 49.5. I touch it every week.
You do.
Every week. We're playing the over-under. Over-under's at 49.5. I will take the under. Give me the under at 49.5. Bills minus 5.5. Line 6 minus 6.5, though.
I got one player prop. I will bet this. Excuse me if you couldn't hear me. I got one player prop, and I will bet this.
Motherfucker.
It
Can I guess?
will be, yep.
Tua interception.
Tua interception. He is 2 for 2 in 2023. He just came back from the IR, and he's about to play the second game back.
Good bet.
In Buffalo. I'm going to back the same trend. He's going to go 3 for 3 from 2023 to 2024. Give me Tua as an interception. I don't even know what the line is at right now, if it's even out, but I love it, and that's what I will bet. And if you don't believe me, check the Instagram. It will be there. All right. That takes care of Miami versus
I will let you bring
Buffalo
in the next
Bills.
game.
We have for our final game. You guys couldn't guess what it'd be. Right. We got the Indianapolis Colts at Minnesota. The line is sitting at -6, even favoring the Vikings in Minnesota, and the over and under is sitting at 45 and a hooker.
45 and a hooker.
Sheesh, man.
4-4 Colts coming into this game after losing to the Texans at home 23-20, while the 5-2 Vikings are coming off of a loss to the Ravens 30-20. Man, oh man, did the Rams surprise us?
Yeah, for real.
I'll tell you right now, next week we're covering the Rams because when this team's healthy, there are some bad mamma jammas. But for the time being, these Vikings, they were due for a rude awakening. I think I said it 2 or 3 weeks ago that the Vikings were like a fake, undefeated 5-0.
Right.
One thing that I do want to touch on, though, is not right with this Vikings team, okay? The fact that you got there's a lot of delusional fans out there that think the Vikings are going to go to the Super Bowl and shit like that.
Super Bowl's a stretch.
It's
Super Bowl
not
is a
happening.
stretch.
I wouldn't even
Playoffs, I'll agree with you.
I wouldn't even send them to the NFC Championship. And if they do, they're going to face the Lions. And you want to talk about a rude awakening, man. Vikings will drop 50 on their head. But despite Sam Darnold.
Vikings will drop 50 on their
I'm
head?
sorry. The Lions
like,
will drop 50 on their
there
head.
you go. I was
I
like, whoa.
apologize. I'm so glad you corrected me on that. Woo!
I'm like, dang, Jay Jett is about to pop off.
I did not mean to put that out into the world. I can tell you that right now. But
That's clickbait right there.
yeah.
For real. Damn.
Full of fucking
But,
Jake Paul with some bullshit. But despite Sam Darnold, he threw for 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. You still lost by 2 scores, bro. You still lost by 2 scores.
Yeah.
And
That's fair.
the Rams, they are an NFC team.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Super Bowl
I'm sorry.
champions.
If they have to go back and face them in the playoffs, they will lose again. They will 100% lose again. They could not slow down Puka. Cooper was just bait work for him, dude. Bait work.
You took the words right out of my mouth, bro.
What you got?
Guys, did Puka Nacua hit that field like he never in his life had been injured? This guy was just maliciously running over the whole team with his absolute luscious hair flowing in the wind. This dude, it is, bro. Like his hair, yes, but the way they're performing, bro, unbelievable. Like that, the team that I was seeing in that game, I felt like I was watching the whole Super Bowl Rams all over again. That game,
Yeah.
it really was impeccable. I give props to them. I didn't think they were going to do that well. Maybe because again they were so underhyped because Puka is just coming back. Cooper Kupp, I think he was still feeling iffy that game, and again he was just being bait to the whole team
For sure.
just to leave Puka Nacua to make his way down the field the whole entire game.
They're talking about him going on the trade wire.
And then they had Kyron Williams just punch it in. And I think he has one of the longest anytime touchdown streaks right now in the NFL going.
I think you are 100% right on that.
Yeah, go ahead. That was it.
But one thing that this Vikings defense is supposed to be is elite, which They're not. they are not. They were ranked one of the top 5 defenses in the entire NFL coming into the league. And now, don't get me wrong, first few weeks looked fucking stellar. But this all leads me back to their like a fake undefeated team. The beginning of the season, Vikings defense supposed to be elite. One of the best. Supposed to be one of the best defenses in the entire league. These motherfuckers gave up 61 points in the last 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah, they got fucked up by Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford.
You goddamn Skippy.
Shoot him up. Shoot him up.
I think if they find a bounce back game, though, it very well could be against this Colts defense that has proven they are beyond fucking flawed. You hear the names. Zaire Franklin, solo tackle leader. DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, EJ Speed, Kenny Moore, all these guys that are making bank ain't doing a goddamn thing, man. Zaire Franklin is the only one holding this team together. I don't remember the guy's name with long hair. He's been playing lights out football. He definitely learned from Zaire Franklin how to play like that. But you may be surprised to hear this, but no team in the NFL has a better record against the spread than the Indianapolis Colts. They are 7-1 against the spread this year, bro.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Isn't that crazy?
Man, right now it's at 5.5.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's pretty good. That is a very nice bet. If you guys have been tailing Indy, and I guess if we're gonna be talking about Indy real quick, to note on the defensive end on the Minnesota Vikings, Brian Flores, defensive coordinator. We know him for notoriously blitzing his whole defensive team towards that QB. Oh. It didn't work against, obviously, Jared Goff nor Matthew Stafford. They're going against the Indianapolis Colts. So what's making us think that he's not going to let loose like a wild dog against AR? AR has been nothing but an all-out option throwing his passes. Yeah, he doesn't throw much, let alone the most simplest ones, which I've complained about over the time. But when AR does throw these damn balls, it's nothing but a long shot, and god dang, he knows how to throw a dime when it matters. To his favorite, Alec Pierce. But, ladies and gentlemen, as of today, it has been announced that this guy is not going to be starting. They have finally made some sense to themselves that they will be benching AR5 and throwing in Joe motherfucking Flacco. This has been something that I'm sure most Indianapolis Colts fans did want deep down. I know you did. I know others did. Have faith in AR5 coming back from only being able to play 4 games last season, make a name for himself this season. But it's just like we're not seeing enough progress from this fucking guy when he does have the most simplest throws, let alone in the end zone where he's feared and should be feared the most because he has undoubtedly thunder thighs of legs to throw himself in there. He doesn't. He doesn't slide. And he takes the shoulder first, and let alone that is what he injured last season. That's what happened. But it is good for him to finally take the seat, hit the benchers, not in a bad way, learn from someone who is far impressive like Joe motherfucking Flacco. He took the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs without Nick Chubb. He now can utilize, sorry, there's mosquitoes flying everywhere. He can now utilize a full arsenal. Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr., JT, all under his fucking back pocket.
100%.
All the way through. Yeah, and also, clearly, I don't think anybody knew that this dude still had legs for his age, but he clearly ran his longest rushing career path he did, I think 2 or 3 games ago when he started. But nonetheless, that's where I sit with it, man. I think I'm going to be very surprised because I think I'm still surprised, actually, because it was announced today that the line set at -5.5, favoring Minnesota in Minnesota. Could we see that line shift in the next couple of hours, if not the next couple of days, now that Joe Flacco will be the head quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts?
Well, I will tell you right now that line shifted specifically because of him, because 4 hours ago, before that was announced, the Lions sat at -6. So now they announced the benching of AR.
So just a point, huh? That's all they see.
But, I mean, that's all it takes, though. It's just one little point like that.
That's true.
But with them benching AR, I am completely in favor for this. Not because I think he is a bad quarterback, that he's going to be trash for the following years. I don't believe any of that whatsoever. I think that they're benching him because they're going back to old school football, which I have, again, I feel like a broken fucking record, dude. Rookie quarterbacks need to sit and learn, man. That is a proven fucking fact. How do you think Jordan Love would be Jordan Love right now with not sitting underneath Aaron Rodgers? Do you think Tom Brady would have been Tom Brady without sitting underneath Drew Bledsoe for a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. That was
it is very small, but he still learned underneath a veteran with a veteran in his ear. This is a proven fucking fact. And everybody's like, oh my God, Bo Nix is doing terrible. Fucking Bryce Young doing terrible. It's because they have nobody to learn under. And it's fucking ridiculous. It used to be the standard in the NFL that when you come in the league, it doesn't matter how good you are as a rookie, you're sitting. You're sitting, you're going to learn. You're going to learn little things from every single player on the team, whether it be your offensive line, the veteran quarterback that you're backing up. All of these things play a huge aspect into what quarterback you turn into. I truly do believe at this very moment, Joe Flacco's the better quarterback. That's not even a question. It's not. If you disagree, you don't know ball. Anthony Richardson is the quarterback that needs to sit and hang out with a vet. Be like, hey, Flacco, why did you roll out to your left 2 steps and make that instead of pushing up in the pocket? It's because Flacco saw the right side of the line collapsing, so he backpedals and works his way out. Just stupid shit like that. Anthony Richardson still has this college mindset that he has to get past.
Yep.
100%. And the fact that he came out and even said that the NFL is easier than college, that pissed me. Yes, dude.
Wow.
It pissed me off.
Wow.
Clean pissed me off.
Fucking ignorant.
Very ignorant. And that's what I hate because Anthony Richardson is such a humble guy. If you're not from Indiana, you probably don't follow him as much. Anywhere he goes, anybody that recognizes him, he stops, takes pictures. He'll sit there and have a 10, 15-minute conversation with you. He is not a cocky douchebag. Like, I say that and you expect, things from Cam Newton. That motherfucker
That
came in the league, and one of my favorite quotes from Cam Newton ever, this is completely off topic, but he got in the end zone one day, and, he does the Superman flex like he always does. And the other team was like, we're so tired of seeing that shit. You know what he said in his presser? You don't want me to do it? Stop me.
Yeah.
One of the greatest quotes ever, man.
Yeah.
And Anthony Richardson is not that kind of mentality guy. He wants to go out and be the best he can possibly be. But at the end of the day, right now, Flacco is the best option for this team.
Yes.
What pisses me off, though, is that, all of Colts Nation, all the coaches, everybody is like, you got to be patient with the guy. You got to be patient. And then you bench him.
How long, bro?
You make it, well.
How long, bro?
And that's the mindset that fucks everybody up, bro.
This is also
because that they think they should be NFL ready, and that is not how quarterbacks work.
Right. We all want, obviously, these rookie quarterbacks to get us to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl, to the championship. I'm not even asking that from him. Like, if you can just show us some promising progress to get us there, then I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. But last year, he only played 4 games, and that was it. This year, we're sitting at 4. We, meaning Indiana, we are sitting at 4-4. I think right now is the best time to make an adaptation to something like that. Like throwing a veteran in there where we can at least get a couple of games up. Hopefully Joe Flacco can get us there, a more of a positive winning record where we can catch up to the Houston Texans who are sitting at 6-2 and we are 4-4. That is not that much of a difference.
I could not agree more, man.
And if the Houston Texans do lose against the Jets, and the Indianapolis Colts do win against the fucking Vikings,
it's a staple statement.
That shift will definitely make some motives on both sides, and what they do with that is up to them at that point. But obviously, we'll probably talk about that again next episode. That was just my piece, but again, it really is all about adaptation, making adjustments right now. We're literally halfway. Well, actually, we have 18 weeks of NFL now, right?
Yes, sir.
A little less than halfway of the whole entire NFL regular season. So I think right now, sitting at an even record of 4-4, there is no better time to make an adjustment like that.
So, I mean, Flacco, he's got 108 attempts. Anthony Richardson, 133 attempts. So now let's dive into it. On the season, Joe Flacco, 108 attempts, 71 completions. Anthony Richardson, who has started more games than Joe Flacco, has a total of 133 attempts. I can't even read that number, bro. I'm so disgusted.
The completions?
Yeah.
He has 133 attempts with 59 completions. Before you say what you're about to say, I threw this on my write-up. I don't have it with me. Can you tell the people watching and listening what was the bet that you wanted me to make before that Indianapolis versus the Houston Texas Colts on Anthony Richards?
Was it an AR pick?
It was an AR pick of either completions or attempts.
It was under 16 and a half.
16 attempts or completions?
No, completions.
Yeah, and I don't even remember. I think and what he ended up with at the end of that was 10.
10 out of what? 31? Was it 31 or 32? 32. And again, so now...
And he still threw a pick. Oh, my God.
I'm sorry I've strayed so far away from this game, but I'm such a diehard Colts fan.
Yeah, bro.
That is so fucking heartbreaking that everybody in the world thinks that Anthony Richardson, this is all his fault. 100% his fault. The motherfucker got sacked half a dozen times that game, which is ridiculous, dude.
5 sacks.
5 sacks, yeah. Absolutely insane.
God knows how many pressures.
I go back and watch it. This dude had, I'd say, 50% of the mistakes on those attempts were him. The other 50% are him scrambling for his life or the fucking receivers running the wrong route. And 4 of those go to Adonis Mitchell, who they do not click yet, man. And Adonis Mitchell, speedster, absolute speedster. He's the Xavier Worthy of the Colts.
I think that's what he wants, just a highlight play.
And that's the thing. He's got to find some type of connection with him, man. It cannot just be Josh Downs. You got to find 6'6" Michael Pittman. You got to find 6'4" Alec Pierce on the deep ball. You have to, man. If Flacco can do it, you just need to sit on your ass, watch how he does it. That is the best way to do it. I digress on the Colts. But back to the Vikings. If the Vikings want to find a win on this game, they have to let Aaron Jones loose. It's not going to be Justin Jefferson. It's going to be Aaron Jones because the Colts cannot stop the fucking run to save their life whatsoever. Yep. So let's say they give Aaron Jones 20 attempts. In my opinion, he's getting 80 yards. Minimum. That's not even counting how many fucking dumb plays they're going to have because DeForest Buckner's back now, and they're going to be pushing that edge in. Aaron Jones is not blocking DeForest Buckner. He's going to roll off for a quick screen pass or a quick dump, a quick check down. That's what's going to happen. Yes, we know the Vikings can air it out, but every team the Colts have lost to have been killing it as long as they run the ball. That sets up the play action, and that sets up an even better run game for the opposing team. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
My boy's lit.
I am very much. I'm so good. John chose this game.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
And I think that's also something clear. He wanted to finish with the Buffalo Bills in Miami, but I knew this game was going to bring some sort of fire that just trust me. Just trust me. And I think I unlocked,
you were right.
a fire that he didn't want to talk about. But this is the type of stuff that we love. It makes you feel some sort of way. Why wouldn't we want to address this? For the people who live in Indiana or don't live in Indiana, for a spread record that's sitting at 7-1, for a team that you might want to follow who has a nice record like that, it's probably sitting on what's that LineMate, Betting Pros app. Those apps probably have a spread pick of 99 or 80% sitting in there for the Colts spread. So if it's already on there, why not let us chat about it? Let's chat about it. That's why we're here. What?
I'm done talking about this game.
Well, if you are.
Well, there's one more thing.
All right, there's always one more thing.
The fact that, my old man, giant Colts fan, when they took Peyton Manning over Ryan Leaf.
Oh.
Dude, Indianapolis, boo at the draft day. Boo. They were so mad that they took Peyton Manning. He had one of the worst rookie seasons. I still consider this Anthony Richardson's rookie season. Until he hits 18 games, once he hits 16, that's when he is out of his rookie season, in my personal opinion. But everybody hated Peyton Manning. They could not stand that pick.
Yeah, I do.
Guess what? He's the greatest quarterback of all time. Don't say a word. But, you cannot count out guys just because they have a bad season, a bad way to start the year. To me, that's insane. And for Colts fans, that's absolute bullshit. You guys are hearing back Matt Ryan over Anthony Richardson? Sad. Absolutely fucking sad. Anthony Richardson, if you guys push him out of this city, he will go somewhere and blow up. You got to give the guy time. You have to, 100%. With all of that being said, John, you got to pick for this game.
Man, I'll be honest, I had in my mind -5.5 Vikings easy.
With AR starting?
Until I saw that Joe Flacco is now starting.
Me too.
So I don't know where it sits. I'm going to let the line play itself a little. It might drop another point if I'm lucky. But right now, I think I have to just sit back. This has to be a live wager game, bro. Like, it really can go either way.
For sure.
I do think that the Colts and Flacco can make it so tight, but I don't want to second guess myself and play too quickly on it, and the Vikings just hit me with the 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. So, and I'd rather let that spread sit itself at 14 or plus 13.5 and a hooker, whatever, 13 hooker. I think I have to live wager it. But if the Colts somehow go down 2 tutties, the Colts are so notorious for bringing it close. When it matters the most, that's the very end. And they still cannot execute, but that's exactly where and probably why that spread sits at 7-1 is because at the very end, they always find a turnover. They find some way to bring it close. So that is why I'm going to have to live wager it. So if it does somehow end up at 13.5, 14, 2 scores, I think I have to take it there. But out the gate, I think the Vikings still come up with the dub. But it's not enough for me to bet the ML because it's not worth it.
Pick the spread. Give me something on the spread. Please.
Is it 5.5 right now?
Right, it's a 5.5.
Dude, you're making me pull teeth, man.
I love it. I'm a dentist, baby.
Let me hear you, and I'll be honest. I'll be honest after I hear your pick. I will be honest.
Right.
I give you my word.
The line sits at -5.5. I expect this to bump back up to 6. I'm going to take the Colts at +8.5. I like the Colts at +8.5. I prefer that cushion. I think Flacco comes out here and he does his fucking thing. He knows he has a good repertoire with these receivers already, especially Pittman and Downs. And being able to utilize Pittman is going to be crucial in this game. The fact that the Vikings defense has clearly been exposed. If an OG like Matt Stafford can beat them by 10, I think that Joe Flacco can find a way to lose this game by less than a touchdown. Give me the Colts at +8.5 and give me over 40.5. That is my final pick.
Yeah, I love that. So so you're kind of like reasoning with me because if for the only way for that
100%,
line to sit up at
100%.
8.5 rather than taking an alternate and mess up my own odds, I'd rather let the Vikings score first because I really do believe that
then
they
that
will
spread
score
will
first,
shoot.
and it will shoot, and that's
Probably
when
to
you take
10.5.
on a live wager.
Completely
I'm telling
agree.
you guys,
Completely
we are
agree.
telling you guys right now, we are going to make a reel out of this because we are telling you once that live wager spreads far as it can go, the Colts will bring it tight, and that is where you make your money back. That is my pick on it. Yeah, that's it. No interceptions, no nothing else. I love it right there
Smart
because
man.
this game can go truly either way if that spread does widen up, and that's probably how they're going to end up at 8-1 against the spread. All right,
You know what I'm thinking, John?
what's up?
I'm thinking that we might do I think we might post our speed round.
All right. Well, before we get to our speed round, I don't have a 3-teamer steamer, but I do have one favorite game to bet of the week. One.
Ooh, I like where his head's at.
And I will take it on the spread. I was looking through all of them carefully, and after I saw the performance yesterday, we're recording this on a Tuesday. We just saw Monday Night Football, horrendous, by the way. The New York Giants against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers owned them. Yeah, the Giants gave themselves a little bit of false hope at the end, but, Daniel Jones does what he does the best. Chokes, can never execute. So I'm going to go back to him again. The Giants are going to go against the Washington Commanders in New York. I have zero faith that the New York Giants can keep it close. After how the Commanders won against the Chicago Bears, it was very tight. But Jaden Daniels has that fire in him. That whole team has just absolute good chemistry. They do. And they probably have more faith in Jaden Daniels, their own quarterback, than anybody else on that team. So I personally love the -3.5 at -104 odds. That's almost 1-to-1, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
They thems too.
Yeah, them's. Yeah. Anyway, I love that. That's my favorite pick. I really do. I really love that. Usually I kind of avoid and make some alternate spreads, but this one straight up out the gate with nothing, and where I'm at 5 days ahead. I love that. So if you guys want to lock that in, I will bet this. I will put it on my Instagram, on the Discord. I will be taking the Washington Commanders at -3.5 against the New York Giants.
I like where your head's at. Well, you ready to top this podcast off, my brother?
Yes, sir. With the speed round?
Let's do it.
All right.
Do it.
You want to start off?
You got what is it? Blood in, blood out right here. Mexican. Amico. Here we go. We have got the Houston Texans at the New York Jets. Spread sits at New York Jets favored at -1.5. Over-unders at 42.5. I will take the Texans +1.5, and I will take over 42.5 in this game. John, what you got?
I will take the Houston Texans on the money line, and I will take the over 42.5. The next one we got is the New England Patriots against the Tennessee Titans. I personally have loved how the Patriots have been performing. Granted, Drake May is now out. They have Jacoby Brissett starting due to a concussion, I believe. But I do still like how the Patriots have been performing. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt and give me the +3.5 on the Patriots and over 37.5.
Go ahead and give me the Titans money line and give me over 37.5. We had next game, and if you want anything on that game, I'll take the Titans at 2.5. Next game, we've got the New Orleans Saints going to go see the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers are the underdogs. Saints are favored at -7. Over under sits at 43.5. I'm not sure how to feel about this game. I will go ahead and take the Panthers +7.5, and the over under I will take under 43.5.
I agree. I think even if Derek Carr does or does not come back for this game, I like the Carolina Panthers at +7. And I will also take the under 43.5.
I regret what I just said. Go ahead and give me the Saints at -6.5 instead because they just lost Deontay Johnson.
Oh, they did.
So give me the Saints at -6.5. I think they can pull it off by a tutty in Carolina. I still stick by my over/under.
I'll keep it there.
Next game, we've got the Denver Broncos. Going to go see the Baltimore Ravens. Broncos versus the Ravens. Ravens are at home and favored by 9.5. Over/under sits at 45.5. Broncos have been playing lights out football lately. So I am going to go ahead and take the goddamn Ravens at -9.5, and I will do over/under 45.5. Give me the under. Give me under 45.5.
I don't know, man.
That's a tough one.
This one is a tough one.
That's a good game.
I feel like this is a trap. But I'm not going to overthink it. I'll take the Ravens at -9.5, and I'll take the over 45.5. The next one we got is the Las Vegas Raiders against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to go ahead. Man, bro, the Bengals they just can't do it. They just can't do it. I don't know anymore. Like, how many times you got to bet them until they win?
7.5? That's fucking gross.
I'm going to just go ahead and probably just take the 7.5 plus 7.5 on the Raiders. I'll take the under 46.5 as well.
I will go ahead and take the Bengals alternate spread -6.5. I think they win by a tutty. And give me the under 46.5. I love where John's head's at. Go ahead and let's move to the next game. We've got the Los Angeles Chargers going to the Cleveland Browns. Chargers are favored at -1.5, and the over/under sits at 42.5. I think this game's a little bit more electric than we think. Give me over 42.5, and give me the Chargers to cover at -1.5.
Dang.
Yeah, it's a toughie right there. That's a good game.
I'm going to take the Chargers on the ML, and I like the over 42.5.
Regretting not touching that game.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That would have been fun. That would have been fun to cover.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Miami Dolphins, go ahead and rewind back. Dallas Cowboys against the Atlanta Falcons. Man, this one's iffy. The Cowboys have been nothing but losing. And Kirk O'Chains has just been fucking dogging, bro. I don't know on this one. Let me hear you go first.
I'm going to take the Falcons at -2.5. The over/under 51.5. I know that I said I like 51.5. I might have been talking to John earlier about that. But I like over 49.5 in that game. Give me the Falcons at -3.5 and go ahead and give me over 49.5. John, what you got?
I'm going to go ahead and probably just take the Falcons on -2.5. Just because they have a very, very good kicker.
At home.
I do like that at home. You're right.
In
I will
Georgia.
take over 49.5. I do like that, honestly. Next one, I already called it. I'm personally going to take the Washington Commanders at -3.5 on the spread. Over and under, man, I don't know on this one, though. I will, oh my God, I hate over and unders. I'll take the over 43.5.
Completely agreed. I will take the Commanders not at 3.5, but I'll take them at -2.5. And I'm also going to take over 43.5. One of my favorite games of the week as well. Next game, we have got the Chicago Bears going to Arizona. Bears at Cardinals. Cardinals are favored at -1.5. Over/under is at 44.5. With this game, I like the way the Cardinals are clicking. I said this early in the season. I think they have a lot of potential. Go ahead and give me the Cardinals at -1.5. And I think that both of these defenses are pretty good. I'll take under 44.5.
I'm going to take the Cardinals on the ML and give me the under 44.5.
Good bet.
Jacksonville Jaguars against Philly. Oh, man. I think Jacksonville has to find their groove. Philly's been winning a little too many games, to be honest with you. I think Jacksonville has to find their groove. There is no better time than the present. Give me the benefit of the doubt. Trevor Lawrence, I'm going to take the +7.5 and under 45.5.
I am going to completely disagree with you. I think that the Eagles are able to find success in the backfield. Give me the Eagles at -7.5 and go ahead and give me under 45.5. I don't think that the Jaguars are able to find the end zone that well. Next game is going to be the LA Rams in Seattle. Rams at Seahawks. Spread sits at the Rams favored by -1.5. Over under 48.5. With the way the Rams are clicking, there is no fucking way they lose this game. Yeah. Give me the Rams at -1.5, and I think this is a high-scoring game. Give me over 48.5 in this bad boy.
I do agree. I'm going to go ahead and take the Rams on the ML and over 48.5. The next one we have is the Detroit Lions on the ML, or excuse me, Detroit Lions at Green Bay Packers. But I think I just told my pick. I think I have to take the Detroit Lions on the ML because they've been performing phenomenally. Over and under, they just put up 51 points, crazy amount. I think they do something pretty gnarly like that again, along with the Packers. So I will take the over 48.5.
Like we already said, Lions are on a fucking steamroll, but please remember this game is divisional. I still like the Lions at -3.5 on the spread. I think they light up the scoreboards. Give me over 48.5. If the Lions can put up 50 by themselves in one game, I see no reason they're not able to do this against the Packers. I want to touch on this Colts game once again. Colts at Vikings. Vikings are favored at -5.5. Over-unders at 46.5. Love the Colts at +7.5. And, I don't remember what I said for the over-under, so rewind if you want to pay attention to that.
I don't even think I said anything for the over and under, but I'll go ahead and, again, say a live wager. If it goes to like 7 or 14.5 on the Colts, you got to take it. Over and under, man, bro. I'm going to go ahead and just take like the under, I guess. I won't bet it, but if I had to pick one right now, I'll take the under 46.5.
Beauty.
That takes care of everything, guys.
Got one more game, Chito.
What's up?
We have got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Arrowhead Stadium. Buccaneers going to go see the Chiefs. Chiefs are at home. Over-under sits at 45.5, and the spread sits the Chiefs favored by 8.5 points. The Bucs are riddled with injuries, but they showed that doesn't matter. K-Dot is an absolute dog. This man had him on fantasy last week. Absolute fucking gem of a pickup. I think K-Dot does another great job again. The Chiefs have not been able to pull away and show anybody that they're elite. Give me the Buccaneers +10.5 and give me over 45.5.
I will take the Chiefs at 8.5.
Woo!
Under an over 45.5.
Same guy that says he hates the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that puts a wrap on this episode.
That absolutely does. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys like the content, please be sure to drop a like, hit subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment. We love it all the interactions. Feel free to drop a follow on our Instagram, our Discord, if you want to follow our player props. And again, happy Halloween, guys. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Have a trick or treat. Take your kids out. Have a beer. Have an Oktoberfest. I'm Jonny G. I'm signing out. What about
I'm
you?
Nicky G. I'm out this motherfucker. I'm about to go carve a pumpkin. Hope you guys have a great Halloween. Love you. Talk to you next week.